Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the True Factor, where we do headlines with an attitude. We have just a few kind of updates, really more so wanting to report the Pennsylvania water system being hacked by an Iranian backed group, and the China mask mandates look like they might be back in China, guys. There's a couple Israeli updates and a few other little tidbits. Big time delay, guys. Oh, girl. Wow. Delay bad. Anyway, let's get into these headlines. All of these articles are archived in a Wixit in the link in the description in the box below, guys. All right. Here we go. And this is going to be on under the same little link from earlier, but we've got part 2. Okay. But we're going to jump around just a little bit here, guys. We're going to pick up with this one right here from End Time Headlines. It's happening again. Kind of like they're back, right? China enforces mask mandates and social distancing again with that mystery pneumonia spread. And they've already said that it's not a mystery, right? But yet we're going to hear mystery pneumonia how many times now? I'm getting a little tired of it already. China has brought back the mask and social distancing in the chilling echo of a lockdown as they battle a pneumonia outbreak. I'm not going to say that word because they've already came out and said that it was, the regular flu, RSV, mycoplasma, blah, 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 right? Anyway, for 4 years, a pneumonia outbreak for 4 years from COVID. Alarming footage has emerged of mask-wearing crowds inside Chinese hospitals as fear of the new pandemic sweeps across the globe. Areas in the north of the country, such as Beijing and Liang, have been hit with the hardest, with reports emerging last week that hospitals are being overwhelmed with sick children. A common bacterial infection called mycoplasma pneumonia has circulated since May, but is now showing ground glass opacity in the lung scans as an indicator of severe respiratory illness. Also known as white lung syndrome, many parents are deeply worried and are having to wait at least a day just for emergency care. But China continues to insist that the flu and the usual winter bugs are to blame for the latest outbreak rather than a new virus, and can cope with the spike in sickness. But yeah, you're hearing them push it's a mystery virus or pneumonia. It's absolutely just absurd. This chick here will not report that it's a mystery virus. I'm just not. Anyway, local authorities, however, are already being called upon to open more fever clinics and promote the sleever's uptake among children and the elderly. There it goes. Efforts should be made to increase the opening of relevant clinics and treatment areas, extended service hours, and increase the supply of medicine, said ministry spokesperson Mi Feng. He also advised people to wear masks and called on local authorities to focus on preventing the spread of the illness in crowded places such as schools and nursing homes. But his statement comes after Beijing's Children's Hospital told the state media CCTV that at least 7,000 patients were being admitted daily to the institution, exceeding capacity. It followed up with the largest pediatric hospital in nearby Tianjin, reportedly receiving more than 13,000 children through its doors. The concerning spread of the illness comes as the nation enters its first full winter season since lifting the strict 19 restrictions last December. Professor Francois Balix from the UCL Genetics Institution has blamed China's strict lockdown and lowering immunity for the exit wave sweeping across the country. While the U.S. and U.K. also saw spikes in infections like RSV and the flu after the pandemic rules were lifted, China's have been on a bigger scale. Things escalated further last week when the World Health Organization were forced into a rare public intervention, formally requesting further information from Beijing on this infectious. The WHO said no unusual or novel pathogens have been detected in data provided by China. However, but both China and the WHO have been accused of lack of transparency in their initial reports on the sea pandemic, right? It's almost exactly 4 years to the date when the first 19 was detected in central Chinese. Well, guys, because it's just about that time. Just about that time again, to, head back to those for the big race that takes place in November, the big event there. That's what's up. Hello, white water tiger. Yeah, and that's what I say. Not again. I it's really kind of, I'm struggling to wrap my mind around why people that probably have a respiratory illness, why you would shove a mask on people that are already having difficulty breathing and make them wear something as such as that. That's just going to, confine your ability to breathe, right? I hear you, water tiger. 'Tis the season, right? Anyway, so yeah. Then we also have, hold on, there was trying to see where else I wanted to go before I got to that other one.
I mean, the dumbs are running out of time.
Mm-hmm.
They got to get some kind of pandemic going before the election year starts.
Okay, so here we go. Pennsylvania water system hacked by Iranian-backed cyber groups. The Municipal Water Authority of Al-Quipa said on Saturday, what a name, Al-Quipa. Anyway, said on Saturday that one of their booster stations had been hacked by Iranian-backed cyber group. Matthew Moats, the chairman of the board of directors for the Municipal Water Authority of Al-Quipa, confirmed that the KDKA TV, that the cyber group known as Cyber Avengers, I guess is what it's supposed to be, took control of one of their stations. An alarm went off as soon as the hack had occurred. Moats added that the station, located at the outskirts of the town, monitors and regulates pressure for Raccoon. You can't make these names up, guys. And Potter townships, and stressed that there is known risk to drinking the water or water supply. The machine that was hacked uses a system called Unitronics, which Moat says is a software or has components that are Israeli owned. The system has since been disabled. Members of the PA State Police were called to the booster station on Saturday to begin a criminal investigation. In a statement on Sunday, Congressman Chris Deluzzo said in his monitoring the situation. So, yeah, no foul apparently, but again, mention of this lovely little hacking system. Seems like a whole bunch of hackers have been able to break through all kinds of things. We covered the hospitals yesterday. What will we cover tomorrow? I don't know. Let's see, guys. We'll cover the Israel stuff last. New reports claim that the CIA conducted a UF retrieval missions on 9 non-human organ crash sites around the world. Wow. A secretive CIA office has been coordinating the retrieval of crashed UFOs around the world for decades, multiple sources told Daily Mail. One source said that at least 9 apparent non-human craft have been recovered by U.S. government, some wrecked from a crash, 2 completely intact. 3 sources briefed on these alleged top-secret operations told Daily Mail that the Office of Global Access, a wing of Central Intelligence, Science and Technology Directorate, has played a central role since 2003 in orchestrating the collection of what could be alien space aircraft, right? Oh, wow. I almost sound... and I almost sound like one of those, people that may that they used to lock up in padded rooms for this stuff, right? Three sources who spoke of condition of anonymity to avoid reprisal have all been briefed by individuals involved in those alleged UFO retrieval missions. Though the shocking claims sound like they come from a science fiction novel, they are part of a growing body of evidence suggesting that the U.S. government could indeed be hiding advanced vehicles that were not made by humans. Former top intelligence officer David Crush told Congress as much as an explosive public hearing in July. The same month, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer sponsored an extraordinary bill to allow disclosure of recovered technologies of unknown origin and biological evidence of non-human intelligence, which has now passed in the Senate. Sources who spoke to dailymail.com shed light on how the CIA has allegedly coordinated the secret recovery and storage of these alleged crashed or landed UFOs. There's at least 9 vehicles. There were different circumstances for different ones. One source briefed by the UFO program insider told Daily Mail it has to do with the physical condition they're in. If it crashes, there's a lot of damage done. Others, two of them are completely intact. The source said that the CIA has a system in place that discerns the UFOs while they're still encloaked. And that if the non-human craft land crash or are brought down to the earth, special military units are sent to trying to salvage the wreckage. Anyway, guys, I'm not going to read anymore, but here there is just a little bit more, but you get the gist of it. They're trying to say they are recovering, unidentified flying objects. They're just crazy. Hey, Drain, how are you, honey? Anyway, crazy stuff. We also have, we will get to this one. Breitbart reports that Republicans are unleashing to unleash. Now, Republicans to unleash. Now, this is to. That's not saying that they are unleashing, but they to unleash 150 subpoenas if, this is the big kicker of the word, if Democrats target friends of conservative Supreme Court justices. Now, guys, I tell you, this is just ridiculous. Congressional Republicans are preparing to fight back by unleashing up to 150 subpoenas on liberals and Democrats if Biden's party in the Senate subpoenas conservatives who are friends and supporters of the Supreme Court justices appointed by Republican presidents. This subpoena fights is the latest battle in an ongoing war by the left, who in recent months have been targeting the two most conservative justices on the Supreme Court, Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito, investigating and even going after private citizens who are longtime friends of the justices, most especially conservative leaders, Leonard Leo, and GOP donor Harlan Crow. And this skirmish driven by Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, a Democrat from Rhode Island, could happen as soon as Thursday. Former Trump White House senior aide and former Breitbart News senior management Stephen K. Bannon interviewed Mark Polato on November 22nd regarding the left's ongoing attacks against the U.S. Supreme Court and especially Justice Thomas. As a lawyer in the White House counsel office in the Bush 41 White House, Polato was heavily involved in Thomas' confirmation in 91 and has been a central player in D.C. in judicial confirmations and protecting the federal judiciary in the intervening 3 decades. He is currently a senior fellow at the Center for Renewing America, among other things. As Polato put it, the court is the latest bastion to protect our Constitution, and so liberal Democrats are seeking to decimate the Supreme Court by any means necessary. The left is furious that they cannot control the court, Polato explaining that Democrats are throwing the kitchen sink at trying to make American people think that it is the corrupt court. Senate Democrats could try to move forward with their subpoenas as early as this week. If they do, Republicans are prepared to issue 150 subpoenas of their own to investigate those same sort of activities on the other side of the aisle, probing the activities of liberal Supreme Court justices and the gifts they receive from wealthy friends. Now, guys, this is exactly what I thought it was. And this is what I call dangerous politics. I tell you, if they are doing this, you need to go after them. You don't wait to see if they're going to do something. That is, not how it should be. If they're doing something wrong, go after them. This is the thing with politics. You do nothing until it benefits you. And that is wrong. And I am so sick of this type of politics. If they need, Washington needs to be cleaned up clearly. But if we know that there are, injustices being done, they should go ahead and pursue these subpoenas and not hold them over them and say, if you do this, we're going to do it too. I mean, this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway.
Do wrong, don't make it right.
Absolutely. So I'm not going to read anymore. I this kind of stuff really absolutely just, it drives me absolutely batty to hear that, you got these injustices taking place. They're not doing their job. They're fiddle farting around. They're taking bribes basically and patting their pockets. But yet, unless they go after our judge, we're not going to do anything. That's craziness. Absolutely craziness. They better be doing their job a lot better than that. Anyway, I'll calm down just a little bit, guys. I will. Okay, so where are we? Okay, we're gonna go here. All right, so here's from Newsweek, guys. Iraq militia warns the U.S. troops to face fiery winter of missile drone attacks. All righty, guys. An Iraqi militia has issued a new threat to the U.S. troops in the region, warning them it would not be a peaceful winter, even as a temporary truce in the Israeli-Hamas war has largely held across the region. The group, known as Ashab al-Kaf, or Companions of the Cave, a reference to a century-old tale found in both Christian writing and the Quran about a group of monotheistic youths who hid in a cave to escape religious persecution, issued the warning Tuesday on social media alongside an image of what appeared to be U.S. soldiers carrying an injured comrade. And unusually, your winter will not be cold, the statement said in both Arabic and English. Fire awaits you. Our missiles and drones have the final say. This statement comes after more than 5 weeks of daily rocket and drone attacks against the U.S. troops in Iraq and Syria, claimed by a coalition of Iraqi militias calling itself the Islamic Resistance in Iraq, a term used by Ashab al-Kaf, a number of other armed factions in the country. The Islamic Resistance in Iraq has expressed its solidarity with Gaza, where the IDF has clashed with Hamas and other Palestinian groups since war broke out, with Hamas-led surprise attack on October 7th. The U.S. has since conducted several rounds of strikes on such Iraqi militias, which the Pentagon has tied to Iran and its Islamic Revolutionary Guard in Iraq and Syria. The latest series of back-to-back U.S. strikes conducted last week in a run-up to the Israeli-Hamas ceasefire led to the death of several members of Kataib Hezbollah, another powerful Iraqi militia aligned with the Islamic Resistance in Iraq. The Iraqi government, an official of which previously expressed to Newsweek concern over the war in Gaza potentially spreading to Baghdad, has condemned both the U.S. strikes as well as unsanctioned activity by armed factions at home. While both Washington and Tehran have forged close ties to the Iraqi government in 2 decades since the U.S.-led invasion toppled longtime President Saddam Hussein, Shiite Muslim militias supported by Iran have often clashed with U.S. troops amid periods of unrest. Such clashes played out for years to deadly effect after the invasion of the U.S., also contend with hardcore Sunni Muslim insurgency that ultimately gave rise to the Islamic State militia group, ISIS, which both the U.S. and Iran then devoted extensive efforts to defeat in Iraq and Syria. So, guys, there's just a little bit more there, but you get that, they're threatening the U.S. with drones and missiles, right? Absolutely just crazy. So it doesn't look like there's going to be much rest there. Hello, Philip. How are you, brother? Good to see you. Hello, Daryl. How are you this evening? Okay, so we got the Iraqi militias out of the way. We done talked about the Republicans unleashing that 150 subpoenas. We did the UFO. We did the water. We did the mask. And now it is time to cover this. I thought I had 2 articles, but maybe just one. I'll double check here in a second. Ben Gvir threatens to tear down the government if war not resumed. National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir threatens to break apart the government if Israel does not restart its war with Hamas, currently on a negotiated pause. Stopping the war, breaking apart the government, he threatens in a statement. Ben-Gvir's Otzma Yehudit holds 6 seats in the coalition and sports 3 ministers in the cabinet. Assuming the continued support of Benny Gantz National Unity Party, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu government would survive a Ben-Gvir defection. So I guess he's a body, I guess, in other words. Not really anyone that holds a lot of weight there. Let's see. I thought I had another article here. Here it is. Had my finger on it. Okay, guys. It's from Zero Hedge. Hi, Team Angel. How are you, sister? The movie is horrible, isn't it? 10 Israeli, 2 foreigners handed over by Hamas as truce is extended. So more positive developments out of Gaza after Israel and Hamas negotiated to extend the truce deal by at least 2 more days. The Israeli Defense Ministry says 12 hostages, 10 Israelis and 2 Thai nationals released from Hamas captivity in the Gaza Strip are now in Israeli territory and are being escorted by special forces and members of the Shin Bet security agency. After they undergo an initial medical assessment of their health, our forces will accompany them until they are reunited with their families, the IDF says. The IDF asked the public to demonstrate patience and sensitivity during this time out of respect for the released hostages and their families. Now, guys, I have to tell you that I am so disheartened that we are not seeing any Americans being released. I mean, yeah, there was the little, I guess her name was Avergel, sounds like Abigail, that was released yesterday, and she has dual citizenship. She's an American Israeli, but still no American citizens being released yet that are hostages over there. So very disheartening. Attacks on the U.S. bases in Syria and Iraq have largely ceased during the truce period. Elsewhere in the region, the Iran-aligned militia groups, which previously carried out dozens of drones and rocket attacks on the U.S. bases in Syria and Iraq, appear to have ceased. These attacks by a large grew silent after the truce went into effect last Friday. Talks are still underway to extend the Hamas-Israel truce yet further after both sides agreed Monday to initially extend it by 2 days, but it's widely expected that Israel will restart its ground and aerial assault at some point soon. Also, given Israeli military has already said Hamas has violated the terms of the pause in fighting. The IDF says a number of soldiers are lightly hurt after being attacked by Hamas in northern Gaza Strip in what appears to be a first serious violation of the ceasefire. And again, we read to you that from Times of Israel. Tuesday, Hamas accuses the IDF of violating the ceasefire. As recently as Monday, the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu reiterated that Israel won't waver from its goal of completely destroying Hamas. I have no notion that the Palestinians are telling the truth about how many people are killed. Biden replied, I'm sure innocents have been killed, and it's the price of waging war. The administration has reiterated its warning that Israel must be surgical in its airstrike. The U.S. has also told Israel that the kind of mass civilian displacement that happened in the north half of the Strip over the past 7 weeks must not be replicated in the south. Yeah. So I don't know how they get off thinking they can, tell somebody how they can defend their country. But, They do a really good job at that. They think they're everybody's boss, I guess. Maybe they are. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna leave it at that. You get, we were covering this article for the hostages, but we went ahead and covered a little bit more than that. I don't know, Philip. I don't know. I'm not sure. But anyway, so here we have this. And then the only other thing I have left, guys, is this little for your eye section. And as you can see, why it is for in your eye section, I encourage everyone to go and check it out anytime you have the U.S. Navy medical officer trying to sound an alarm. Anyway, glory be to God, guys. And that again is in for your eye section of the Wixit. And all of this is in the description in the box below, as well as all of the other articles that we covered earlier today. And then there is part 2. Anyway, I hope you guys all have a spell checker changed your words. I bet it did. I mean, it changes mine, and I don't even realize it until it's too late. It'd be like I put showering, and then it changed it to showing. So it's kind of crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Anyway, I love you guys. We're gonna call it a night for today. I got too much to do, not enough time to do it in, right? Anyway, love y'all. We'll see you guys later. Have a blessed night.